morning, Woburn. I'm your host, Samantha Stone, and we have a lot of fun we're going to talk about today. We have some special guests that I'm not going to give away right now, but I know you're in for some fun. And we're going to start, as always, with Mayor Scott Galvin. Welcome, Scott.
Hi, Samantha. How are we doing today?
I'm good, thank you. A little hot and
Good.
sticky, but at least the rain was breaking the terrible heat strokes that we were having.
Yeah, definitely.
So I know there's a bunch of things that are happening around the city, and we talked last time about some things that were happening at the rec and the library and all kinds of good stuff. I have had a few people send me notes about paving, and we know that that schedule has been put out there, and they were asking if their street wasn't on their list and they felt concerned about their street. What's the best way to get it put into consideration for the future?
The best way is just to call my office and then call or send an email, and then we'll take a look at the street. We've been doing a lot of catch up on the roads, and we use a pavement management system that grades the roads. So the goal is to overall bring the average up of all roads throughout the city. So we try to hit the ones that are with a lower pavement management rating. So yeah, it's very possible someone's road has not made it on the list, and there would definitely be a candidate, but there are a number of back roads that are also candidates. So we're trying to get to them, and if they send something in and we happen to have, I'm not promising, but if we happen to have money left over and capacity under our contract, we consider it if it's in poor condition.
Okay. Great. Thanks for reminding us of that process. I know the good news is the bid process for Plimpton School went out, that demolition, which I know everyone was looking forward to. Just wanted to remind folks that those contract bids you're getting back, or did you already select? So I think the end of the month is when their bids.
Yeah, we haven't selected yet, but we do have our project manager. It's out on the street, so we're excited about that. And I think it's once we get the contractor on board, it should be a pretty smooth process, and hopefully like 10 weeks is what I think. It's about a 10-week process.
Great. Awesome. And the other thing that I saw, actually, I didn't know this was coming up so soon, but I was happy to find it on the city website, was that the affordable unit application for the Vale project, there are 30 that are available, right? And so folks should go apply for that if they
definitely should. That's a good part of the housing that we see going on. Is there's affordable housing units that are required under each project, and there's a process for them for people to apply. So it's a good thing from the development that you see, and I encourage anybody to go online. If they have any questions, they can call my office. We'll direct them in the right place to get answers.
Yeah. And just to know, I just pulled, so people know there's 10 1-bedrooms, there's 9 2-bedrooms, and 11 3-bedrooms. So there are a variety of size units. People should really definitely go and fill out that application. It's I think the deadline said August. So
That's
thanks
right.
for making that available on the site. And then the other little thing that I just wanted to mention, it's not Woburn specific, but I also thought it was a really helpful resource that was on the website recently around state grants to help make private residences more handicap accessible. And so that there's a link directly from our website for folks who might want to need new ramps or railings or other safety devices that they can apply for.
That's true. Yeah. And it's a good resource. And we're in a grant round as well. We'll be looking at opportunities for handicap accessible structures that we're going to be looking at the process now as we go through it.
Fantastic. Anything else happening around the city you want to let us know about?
They're really no. I think you hit everything pretty well.
Good. So, and I know we have Carol coming on, so thank you for arranging that. She'll be on in the next week or two. I don't have it right in front of me, but
yeah, I think she's on next week. I'll be happy to join in, and we could certainly have anybody from the DPW staff join as well. I think it's the process it's an interesting one. It's something everybody should stay informed on, and we're staying on top of it. We're moving forward and continue to do our testing and continue to have different avenues available to people who feel that when the water doesn't meet up to that standard. And again, we've been doing our testing is coming out very well under the state DEP guidelines. We've been falling under that 20 parts per trillion for the past 7 months. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. As everybody knows, I'm going through chemotherapy, so I've been watching
Right.
it personally very carefully.
Yeah.
And it's always great. I know we need long-term infrastructure, but it's great for the meantime the mitigation systems
Yeah.
are working. So,
Yeah.
well, awesome. Thanks for joining us as always, Scott. We'll
Yeah. Good to see you. Good to see Emily, and good to see you, Jack. Have a good week. Thanks.
Next up, Emily Lipsit, who wears many hats in our city, but today is joining us as president of the Library Board of Trustees. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I'm very happy to be here.
So I know the elections were a few weeks ago, and this is the first chance we've had to catch up with you in your new role. Congratulations on that.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I'm, really excited to continue serving. My term on the board has been extended, and then I am now serving as the president of the board, which is very exciting. And I feel, so grateful to the former president, Richard Mahoney, who really, led the library trustees and helped to, spearhead this beautiful addition to the library that we have. So I really appreciate his leadership, and I hope that I can help contribute to keeping the library as the wonderful resource for the community that it is.
We are really so fortunate to have a gem, not only in terms of the staff there and the programming, the building, the grounds, just sort of everything about it is amazing. One of the things that I always love is that we have this board of trustees that help continue to support its mission. And I love to just, libraries play important functions in our communities throughout the history of our country, but particularly as you look at Woburn, what are your thoughts in terms of, the role the library plays for us as a city and as part of our hub of community?
You took the words right out of my mouth. That catchphrase, hub of the community, that's the new sort of mission that came out with our new strategic plan from this past year. And I think that really encapsulates what our library can be, right? It is a physical location, but it's also a collection of resources. It's a way to bring people together and provide community and assistance, and in so many different ways. Today is a gross rainy day out, and it was a perfect day to visit the Woburn Public Library. I was there myself this morning, and there was a huge group of kids doing a Portuguese language program in the program room. There were, lots of folks hanging out in the sort of open lobby area downstairs, interacting with each other, friendships being formed. Upstairs, there were adults working on, relaxing coloring program. The puzzles were out. So there's all kinds of different activities and ways for people to, meet up and make connections and be part of the community.
I really love that. And, also from practical terms, it's also a temperature controlled environment on really hot days as well. Yeah. Which is so valuable for us.
Rain or shine, Woburn Public Library is the place to be, right?
I love it. It's awesome.
Even from the comfort of your own home, right? There's lots of programming that's happening over the summer, and some of it is virtual. So for those who maybe, aren't able to get out, there are opportunities to still engage in virtual programming or to, get access to programs from other places.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I always forget that that exists now. So I'm really glad about that. Now, one of the main functions of the Library Board of Trustees has always been sort of the initial build and the extension. It was a really big part of helping build the amazing current library that we have today. What are ways that we as a community can support the ongoing mission of the Board of Trustees and support the work that you and the committee is doing?
Yeah, that's a great question, and thank you for asking. I think that we have this wonderful, beautiful, award-winning building now, and that was a huge undertaking. But we need to continue to maintain and to staff that new structure. Our library, is growing. Our patrons are growing. We have an amazing staff, but we could use even more amazing staff members, like, and our library has so many, possibilities. So I think helping to sort of like steward the building and take care of it and maintain, as well as support the staff. That's like one of our key roles as the trustees, I think, is to really help support them. The trustees sort of, function as the like appointed by the mayor body to oversee the library and the library trust funds. But there are several like ways that people can get involved and help support the library. The trustees are working in connection with the Public Library Foundation, which is one of the major fundraising groups that really work to do some of the big fundraising for the construction process. That foundation still exists, and they've done a lot to help support and fund not only the building, but library programming. And so they're doing fundraising. That's something people could like donate to. On sort of a smaller scale fundraising, we have the Friends of Woburn Library, which was an organization that had been dissolved but is now reincarnated and really working on building back up. So I know that you've like talked to people with the Friends and the foundation, and the trustees are also working with them. So we have like these various groups that support the library and sort of do different functions, but we're all working for that same big mission of like having our library be the best and most useful and most central to the community that it can be. So it's been really good to have that collaboration amongst the various, people who love and want to help our library thrive.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I think it's really important. There are just so many ways that we can connect with each other, resources and things that are available to us. Emily, thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Up next, we have our very special summer guest. It would not be summer in Woburn without our favorite Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh, hello, love. How are we? Good to see you, Samantha Stone. How are we?
Wonderful to see you. It is summertime, which means we see you wandering around Woburn town more often than in the winter. Tell us about some of the places you've been hanging out.
Yes, well, the captain's been out and about this summertime. Was across the seas for over the winter time, and then sailed a long trek across the ocean. And I've been in Woburn town here for the past fortnight or two, mate. Been doing a bunch of parades as we celebrate the mutiny from the English, mate. So we've been doing a few parades, walking about the different events. Captain's been quite busy, mate. Of course.
We have noticed, and one of the things, Jack, is you are absolutely a living legend in Woburn, and you're one of our favorite special things that makes our town so special. And you're always very approachable and very generous with your time and photos. But I know some people sometimes have said to me they're a little hesitant, they're maybe not sure how to approach you. And I always tell people they're crazy. So what advice would you give that person or that child or that adult who wants to come say hi but isn't quite sure that that's okay?
Well, it's always okay, mate. So no worries about that. But I would offer this. I would use extreme caution when approaching a pirate of any stature, mate. Captain Jack or anyone. So I would say be careful and watch your back a bit. But feel free to come along and say hello. I'm sure it'll all go well. I'm sure.
Definitely don't startle the captain. Make your presence known, right? Make a little bit of noise.
Exactly. Let me know you're on your way. How about that?
I love it.
And of course, if you want to bribe the captain, that's always a good thing to do as well, mate.
Well, I love it. So I want to share a little something. We're not physically in the same space together today, but I had noticed that you had shared a picture of a flag that you had carried around. And I have a very talented friend, and we bought the supplies, and I asked her to take your Photoshop vision, and I'm not sure it's going to fully show up on the screen, so we'll take a good picture later, but she has designed our very own Woburn town flag for you.
That is glorious, man.
Sure.
Fantastic.
Gets to you so that you can proudly wave our hometown flag here. So we'll make sure to get that over to you. So
I must say that's one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life, mate.
well,
Fantastic.
I love it. So my very talented friend Jasmine is the person who made it. I said, this is what we could do. And she actually made it happen. So we're so glad to have that. As you are out and about in the summer, of course, it's our pleasure. As we are out and about in the summertime, you know, one of the things I always admired about you, Captain, is that it is hot and you have long dreads and you always have all your protective gear on. How do you make it through the summer? Is it all that grog? What is it that keeps you going?
Stay hydrated, mates. Stay hydrated. Keep it simple. You stay hydrated. Your water's fine, but the captain prefers rum.
Oh, I love it. Well, before I let you go, Captain, is there any place coming up in the next week or two that you want to let us know where you might be around in particular, or you just keep an eye out and spot you?
Well, let's put it like this. During the whole plague that we went through, the captain had a bit more free time. So he was out and about doing things in Woburn town. But now that the plague has been lifted, the captain has a bit more pillaging and plundering to do. So a bit more busy, but I would just say keep a sharp eye, and the captain might appear on the horizon, mate. Now, you know my mate Samuel Barley. Samuel Barley had been begging me to get on TV for how long, and nagging me. So may he say a few words or so, mate? Is that all right?
Absolutely.
All right, Samuel, come along, mate. Come along.
To Davy Jones.
What?
Well, maybe a bite or two more won't sink me ship.
What do you...
And me fine salty pork, matey. I be wanting for a fine pork loin.
Shh.
Maybe you can help me out a bit, eh? Oh, brush me barnacles. Now, where be that little old fish dinner I've been a-craving?
It's coming, mate.
Hope that pilfering pussycat ain't beating me to it.
You and that cat.
Avast there, mateys. If ye been hankering for a taste of this here bird's peg leg, I be willing to share, I be.
All right, Samuel. Is that all right? Sorry about that, mate. It's a bit persistent.
I love it. And I think there should be a bunch of Woburn restaurants lining up to get those great meals for you guys.
Indeed, mate. Thank you, love. Thank you, love. Good to see you again.
Thank you so much. Woburn, as always, please continue to take good care of each other.